Welcome back for part two of the Hogs Happy Hour. As we have Coach Wilson joining us. He wanted to give his 2 cents on everything Razorback athletics. Since I told him last time we were on, we beat Michigan in the I guess the Jimmy V Classic was the last time we were on. So it's been a lot that has happened since then. So.
Yeah,
So I don't know what you want to start with, but
man, a lot's happened in my life. A lot's happened.
yeah.
Uh, man, It's been so long, but Coach Hogue knows already. He just welcomed in our first baby into the family, so it's been a little overwhelming here at our house the last 3 or 4 days. But uh, not overwhelming to the point where I can't watch the Razorbacks play tonight at 7 o'clock against Texas A&M. So,
Uh,
um,
yeah. Will
looking
this be your
looking forward.
kid's first athletic event?
It'll be my kid's first athletic event, and I
Oh
will have to
man.
behave myself. There will
Yeah.
be no yelling. There will be no screaming. There will only be silent disappointment.
Yeah. All right. Well, just gonna go back through what we had. What I've already talked about. But
All right.
all right. Would you deem the basketball season as a success?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different factors you got to take into account. You go back to the start of the season, and you'd like to see, we when we have certain coaches at Arkansas, you can always expect to have some high level non conference games, which is always good. But this year, uh, we weren't in any like tournament.
Yeah.
So when you play those non-conference games, when you don't have a tournament, like you need to win a game or two of those. So like losing to Baylor early on kind of hurt. Um, at that point we didn't really know what type of team we had. Then everybody said, "Well, okay, let's beat Illinois," and then we didn't beat Illinois. Not only did we not beat Illinois, we got our butts kicked by Illinois. So at that point, I think all of us were kind of sitting around going, "Well, maybe they'll show up in the SEC." And then the first 5 games hit, and everybody's going, "This team is terrible." So, including myself, I said, "There's just no possible way this team makes the tournament." After the first 7 games in the SEC, I said, "There's just no way." And I think the turning point was Cal goes to Kentucky, and really, if we're being honest, just whipped Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, who's on any given day, Kentucky could have beat us and whipped us, but for whatever reason, we went into Kentucky and they're bigger than us. They shoot the ball better than us. I think their point guard was out, Lamont. Um,
Mm-hmm.
forget his last name, but big part
Butler.
of their team, Butler maybe Lamont Butler. Him being out really hurt them, but I felt like they had enough weapons to kind of get the job done against like a very small rotation for the Razorbacks at that point because Adu wasn't playing all that great. Brazil hadn't been all that great up to that point. John L. Davis hadn't really been much help up to that point. But the moment we beat Kentucky, it's like that locker room felt confident enough that they could go play, maybe not win every game, but at least play and compete every night. And then the NCAA tournament comes around, and the moment we won that first game, I think everybody finally said, "Okay, this is not a team. This is not a 10 seed that you want to play in the Arkansas Razorbacks." Um, and every single game from beginning to end, I felt like we dominated up until the last like 2 minutes against Texas Tech because we dominated Texas Tech up until like the last 5 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
And success based upon that Sweet 16, considering we had like a 7-man rotation.
Yeah.
And Big Z wasn't, after those few games in the SEC where he just kind of went off after that, Big Z didn't really help much anymore. He blocked shots, yes. But scoring wise, he wasn't any help. And DJ Wagner's running the point. And Billy Richmond, who's not a shooter, has to come in off the bench and be a spark plug. And at the end of the year, I would say it was a success. And I think the MVP of the team is Carter Knox. I really do. I think Carter Knox was the motor for this team. He just did everything. Scored, played defense, rebounded, blocked shots, scored around the rim, outside, wherever. He was the guy. And I just saw we just saw you texted me
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
he is going to test the NBA draft waters, but he's going to still maintain his eligibility.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that he doesn't like what he hears and he comes back for
Yeah.
another year, because that guy is an absolute animal on a basketball team.
Yeah.
And now I still think he has a few things he needs to refine, like learning to play under control, um, the speed of the game. Sometimes you don't have to rush it, but he gets it. This guy gets it. So if he goes, Blake, we're really gonna miss him.
Yeah, but I think he's one. He's not. He. The good thing is he didn't say I'm entering the transfer portal.
Right.
He's either NBA or Arkansas. So
Right.
it's one of those. But
Overall,
one
though,
of
as a Razorback fan,
yeah,
I don't know how you could be
yeah,
disappointed,
no,
because it started so bad that at a certain point, all you were saying was, "Can we just please make the tournament?"
and we did. I
And we
mean,
did, and we did much more than just make the tournament.
yeah.
So
And do you know how close we were to potentially getting to the national championship? I mean, just think about it. Texas Tech should have beat Florida. We should have beat Texas Tech. I mean, we were we were there. I mean, this I don't think we would have won it, but we were there.
yeah, yeah, we were there. We were in a good position, but the one thing that Arkansas struggled with all year in a lot of games was the concept of closing out a basketball game, or closing out a game, just finishing. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I think that's a very consistent thing amongst sports at Arkansas. Is we're very good. We're very good at, like, firing out of the gate, but we don't know how to finish it. You know, Arkansas went from can't play at all from beginning to end to dominates right out of the gate, and then just kind of lets up the last 5 minutes. You know, there were several times in that game against Texas Tech where we threw up shots that we'd have just wasted one more second.
Mhm.
You know, you win, but you live and learn. You know, that's just how athletics goes. You live and
Yeah.
learn, and as a fan, you just kind of you take the good with the bad and cheer them on next year.
Yeah. I will say I just saw this quote from Nick Pringle. He talks about he wanted to go to a coach that could get him to the NBA and all that yada yada yada. But
Yeah,
the end quote, he says, "When I played here with Alabama, it was the first time my ears were ringing. This is a great fan support here."
yeah,
So, so
I like
yeah.
that. I like that. Yeah, I think Pringle will bring an element of physicality. Now he won't be able to shoot the ball probably as well as a guy like Brazil from the outside. But at this point, I think the one thing that we were missing was depth and size inside, and again, someone that doesn't get bullied. So I'm glad that we're able to bring in Pringle, because he's a big body, he's solid, and he's a role player. You know, I love that. I love the guys that just are role players. Rebound, block shots, make the dunks, make the easy buckets inside when you get an opportunity, and draw fouls. And then Ewan, or
Hmm.
however you say his last name,
Yeah.
Ewan,
Yeah.
coming over from Florida State. You kind of saw the writing on the wall there. Florida State with Leonard Hamilton leaving, that people were eventually going to enter into the portal. So it's good to get guys like that out of the portal, because you're just I think for him, I think you're just going to scratch the surface on how good a player that guy could be. I mean, he is big. You know, if you think Pringle's big, add another inch and add another 10 pounds. He's 6'11", 230.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to those guys being in Razorback uniforms, and I think Coach Cal will. You know, we were real good on, like, towards the middle to the end of the year. The picking, or the high pick, high screen, and then kick to the wing, and then look inside. But I forget the name of the offense that Cal was running, but it was, when we finally got it
Uh,
rolling, it was
yeah.
effective.
You
I forget what that's.
talking about floppy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Floppy.
little floppy action. Yeah, it was really
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to know what exactly you're going to get out of these transfers.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Nelly,
Yeah.
you just don't know. Adu, you don't
Yeah.
know. But right
Yeah.
now, at this point in the transfer portal, I don't. You want to know the truth? I don't think it would hurt to go get one more 6'9", 6'8", 6'9" guy.
Well, I forgot about this until earlier in the week.
Talking about the
Remember, they
kid
got
from out of the country.
yeah. I mean, he's 6'9", 205, but
Yeah,
but uh, I mean you got Brazil and Pringle Ewing, and then Rattel, I guess is how you say his name.
yeah. I think that's
So,
yeah,
so but I'm with you. You need one more 6'10", 6'11", something.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I think you definitely do, just to be on the safe side. And
There, there's a guy out there I want Arkansas to go after just because he's a little gnat. He's a little a hole. That's Chad Barker from
Chad Mark.
Auburn. Chad Barker Mazzara
Oh, did he go into the portal?
today. Yeah,
Isn't he like 32 years old?
yeah. Yes. This will be his seventh year,
Interesting. Um, yeah, he is.
and
He
he
kind of
shoots the
stirs the
ball.
pot.
Hmm.
I don't think he'll come to Arkansas,
No, no, he's not a Cal guy, But
but yeah, you're right. He's a guy who stirs the pot a little bit and gets guys fired up, get underneath your skin a little bit.
yeah, Richmond already does that, so we don't
Yeah.
need two of them.
But who are some legitimate targets at this point for Arkansas in the portal? Wilkerson's out. Was kind of
Yeah,
hoped he would come back to
yeah,
Arkansas or to the state, but he
yeah,
ended up at Indiana. Much to the dismay of Kentucky fans
yeah.
who thought he was
Matt
an
Jones.
automatic lock to Kentucky.
Yeah.
So
I mean, with all the, I mean, if you look at the portal entries today, there's so many to go through. But I think Cal's gonna go after somebody who can shoot the ball. Because we don't really have that 3-point shooter on the team. Um,
right.
so, but I don't know.
You know,
Cal works in silence.
the thing is this might be one of those years that Cal actually has one of the fewest like freshman commit classes that he's had in a
Yeah,
while because he's
yeah,
at 3 right now from. Well, I don't know how
yeah.
old Rattel what would he classify as.
He's classified as a freshman, but
Okay, so technically 4, but
yeah,
he's got Sealy from Springdale.
hmm yeah,
He's got Acuff, and he's got
hmm
um, oh,
Thomas,
Malik Thomas.
yeah,
And all 3 of those dudes, I don't really know as far as Sealy goes what you're going to get. I'm sure he's an athlete, but Thomas and Acuff have been scoring buckets all spring long, all fall and spring long. So you know what you're getting there. Those are 2 guys who can play. And at this point, I really would love to see a guy built like Adu, just a wing guy that's a little more polished shooting the basketball. Kind of like how UConn the last few years has Alex Caravan. It just can get to the rim, can shoot the ball, but also is big. So um, maybe moving forward that you see something like that.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah. But like I said, we'll find out. I trust Cal, whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, same.
Um, how about Nate Ament going to me out of the blue going to Tennessee? I know he was in the Final Four, but it wasn't
So
like
did he officially commit?
I don't. He was supposed to today. I don't. Let me check the Twitter and see.
I
Uh,
saw there was a crystal ball, but I didn't know if he
yeah.
committed or not.
Uh, I mean, he hasn't officially, but but
There was
things could change. It's
Yeah,
fluid.
there was talk that he would, but I hadn't seen him officially commit to Tennessee. Which I mean, they got $2 million to spare.
Yeah, they
So
got an extra 2 million.
the interesting, but yeah, I liked Urban Meyer's comments today. He said that everybody's on this Josh Heupel train until they play Florida this year, and he's at the 50-yard line after they lose to Florida, saying, "Well, I stuck to my guns."
Yeah,
But I don't think that it was a situation where even me as a coach, I'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So
his brother's on the Razorback team, so I'm sure he's next.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I just for the life of me, I can't figure out UCLA. UCLA. I
Well, I
mean,
mean, his options were very limited at this point.
I just couldn't
Because of the
imagine doing.
rules.
I couldn't imagine doing that to myself. Putting myself in a position, as a transfer portal amongst all sports at this point. It's just it hasn't been since day one. It's not name, image, and likeness. We're not
Yeah,
paying for name, image. At this point,
yeah,
we're paying athletes to
yeah,
come and play like a professional athlete,
yeah.
and it's not how originally. That's not what Ed O'Bannon wanted. I don't think. I don't
Hmm.
think that's what his goal was, but that's what has happened. Athletics has turned into semi-pro sports, and so all right. So how do you fix it? Okay, I was talking to Wes on his was a
Yeah,
food buffet or a sports
yeah,
buffet.
yeah,
I was on there the other day leaving
yeah.
comments. So how do you fix this?
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, I was lighting them up. So how do you solve the transfer problem? Okay, here's how you solve
Mhm.
it. Number one, you're going to have to introduce contracts. Okay, plain and
Yeah.
simple. Introduce contracts, and within the contract, there's going to have to be these things. Number one is going to have to be a buyout. That's the first thing that's going to have to be in there. If you want to leave this university and go somewhere else, this is the money that you owe us. Okay, or this is the money you got to pay us to leave, whether it's $50,000, $100,000, $1,000,000, whatever. Okay, or unless the university says, okay, we need to part ways, go. Right, that can be a mutual thing. That can be in the contract too. But then the part of the contract needs to also be that, hey, you can come here, we'll pay you up to $1,000,000. However, we're going to start you at $500,000, and every time, and if you throw 10 touchdowns this year, we'll give you such amount of money. If you throw 20 touchdowns, if you win this many games this year, you get this amount of bonus. I mean, is that not how they do coaches?
Yeah.
Right? That's how they do
Hmm.
coaches. Why can't
Yeah.
if kids want more money than the coach is already making half the time, then why can't you do that with the players? I mean, that's what it's come down to, and to me that only makes sense. And there you go. You solve the transfer portal problem. But right now,
Hmm.
no one's everybody's the NCAA created this free for all, and no one's willing to sit down and regulate it because right now it's every team has at least one guy, at least one, if not more, that's played for three to five teams. Every team has one or multiple guys on their team who have played for 3 to 5 teams in 3 years.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's not how this was designed
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
You can't.
You
I
know.
mean, building programs like that.
Yeah. It's crazy at Arkansas. We have a kid that's transferring that hasn't even graduated.
Yeah. Kid out of I think North Little Rock or
Parkview.
something. Parkview,
Parkview.
Little Rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's already and it's weird to me. You make an announcement that you're transferring, but you
Yeah.
haven't even played a game. You haven't even is
Yeah.
he
I
on
mean,
campus?
yeah. Yeah. He's a early enrollee,
But
but yeah.
where are you gonna what program are you gonna go to right now? That's a
Yeah.
major program as a freshman. So I take it he got up there and he found out that he wasn't going to start.
Yeah.
Okay? Maybe he didn't. Maybe he wasn't even second or third string. What program are you going to go to? A major program that doesn't have the same amount of transfers as Arkansas
Hmm.
has, or better transfers at his position, which I think is corner. He's not. He can. I'm going to tell you. He can go to Arkansas State. No knock on
Hmm.
Arkansas State. Okay, they
Yeah.
compete. He can go to UCA. He can go to a smaller school in Texas. He can go
Hmm.
to but buddy, they're not look. Most of these schools aren't looking for a freshman who hasn't played a game yet is already in the portal.
Hmm.
When there's 20 of you who have played D2, JUCO,
Yep.
who's played that they can bring in right now who's had reps. Uh, Kids just don't think. Kids don't think,
Yeah.
man.
Yep.
And you know what? Nico didn't think UCLA is going to end up after taxes. UCLA is going to end up paying him like nothing.
Yep. Zero. I mean,
Yeah. So
stupid.
instead of wanting 43,000, I saw this comment. Maybe it was from you. I don't remember. But instead of wanting $43,000 a week, his dad said we wanted $80,000 a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it boiled down to.
Yep. And I don't,
But I
I
don't.
don't, I don't know if you read the reports. Apparently, he wasn't fulfilling his NIL like for autographs and show up here for an hour type deals. He said no, I ain't doing it. And since there's no contract, he didn't have to.
Right.
You know, it's
Well,
just
I mean,
power to him.
more power to him. But like, that's not a good look.
No.
You know, when Tulane doesn't want you.
Yeah.
Not to say they probably
Yeah.
did talk to him. They probably heard that what he had to say, and they were probably like, this is a headache we don't want.
I mean, he
So
said he went to UCLA because of the offense. I mean, Tennessee had a powerful offense. I don't know. I don't think he went to UCLA for the offense.
yeah, what's he
Idiots.
set up for the offense? Okay,
Yep.
yeah, because
All
they've
right.
been known to be a powerhouse.
All right, college baseball player. What's your thoughts on last weekend? And then we got a pretty big series starting tonight, and then doubleheader. They changed the schedule.
Uh,
Doubleheader tomorrow.
Pretty. I was pleased that we came out of the gates against Georgia, kicked their tails, game one. Only thing I have a few gripes. It's not necessarily that this team's not good. You know, I think it's just I think we are so determined for Gabe Gackle to be the guy that they keep him in the rotation, and he has just not been the guy. Gage Wood is supposed to be back,
Yep.
and I'm hoping they move Gackle to the bullpen and leave Bottle Cheese and bring in Wood as the number two guy.
Yeah.
Root's been phenomenal. Um, I guess if I had a complaint outside of Gackle, it would be our offense has been really good, but I hate, and I guess it's just consistent amongst all baseball teams right now. I hate looking up at the end of a game, even when we've won 13-3, and see a lineup with 10 plus strikeouts. To me, a strikeout is a non-productive out. Okay, when you're playing baseball, you want productive outs. In other words, a productive out is this. For those of you who don't understand what that means, if you have a runner on first base, okay, and you strike out and the runner did not move up to the next base and you got out, that's unproductive. Okay. So you want to do one of two things. You want to always move a runner up if you're going to get out, or you want to at least put the ball in play and make the defense make a play. Okay. But these strikeouts aren't doing either one of those. So that to me is something that we could get better at for sure.
So where has, of course, I've been keeping up basketball, then I go to baseball, but where has Will McIntyre? Like, what's his issue?
Um, Well, number one, you know that McIntyre has never been a big velocity guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's going to hover anywhere from the 88 to 90 range, maybe occasionally hit the 91, 92. But now if you look at SEC or any conference, every pitcher throws 94, 95 now. So he's never been a velo guy. He's a strike thrower. And when you're a strike thrower, what you can't do, Blake, is you can't miss over the heart of the plate. You've got to be able to spot up. Well, this year it's the complete opposite from last year. Last year he was really doing well up until the very end. He had been doing very well at spotting up and hitting and making the batter hit his pitch. This year they're seeing the
Yeah.
ball well out of his hand, and not as sharp break on his slider and his curveball this year. His fastball is up in the zone, and these really good hitters, they'll hit the ball 400 feet
Mm-hmm.
off of guys who throw 98, 99.
Yeah.
And you throw 89 to 91 and your stuff's flat and not doing what it did last year, which, by the way, don't get me wrong, I like McIntyre. I really do. I think he's done a lot of good things for the program. I think he can continue to still do good things for the program, but he doesn't have his best stuff right now. Hasn't had it really this year at all. And so just know this: play baseball long enough and watch enough baseball to know that you do not have to throw hard to get people out. Okay, you can.
Oh, he went bye bye.
Oops,
There you
you
go.
lose me.
Oh,
All
there
right,
you go.
here I am.
Yeah, very good.
You can be a successful pitcher and not throw 99 miles an hour.
Yep. I got. I hear you. Anyways, you enjoy this as a pitcher. Carson Wiggins has the fastest pitch so far this year in all of college baseball. He threw 102 miles per hour last week against Georgia. As Coach Willie has gone bye bye. It's probably getting a phone call, but it's fine. But and there he goes. Anyways, the series will. It's about to. First pitch is about to happen. Coming up, I know Dave Van Horn has released his, from the desk type stuff. So it's about to
All
start.
right, I don't know what happened. Anyways, what I was
Yeah.
saying was that you can be a successful pitcher and throw 89 to 91 and get people out. I watched Greg Maddox do it for, much of my early teenage years and
Mm-hmm.
early, before I was a teenager, towards the end of his career, showing 85, 86. Okay. Now but he could spot up wherever he wanted to throw it. So I think that's where McIntyre's getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, it's like college baseball players, college athletes, as a whole are getting stronger. They're getting bigger. They can hit the ball harder. They're keeping up with how hard you hit the ball off the bat. I
Mm-hmm.
think Jack
Yep.
Caglione. I saw Wes said that he hit the ball 120 miles per hour off the bat today. All right, I can barely count to 120, Blake. So for a ball to come off the bat 120 miles per hour, that's not a ground ball I want to field.
No.
So. I think he's just got to get back to who he is, which is someone who pounds the strike zone but keeps the ball down in the zone, not up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, before you got off, I was saying Wiggins has the fastest pitch in college baseball, 102. So
Yeah, I believe that.
shoving it.
He's a heck of a ball player, man. He's just like his brother,
Yeah.
except I think he throws more strikes than his brother did.
Yeah. I do too.
So um, he's been a big addition. Yeah, he came in and shoved it against Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Kept us in the ball game, gave us an opportunity to win. We just didn't do it. So,
Yep. But all right. Well, that was a kind of a short, quick, to the point show, or part two of the show. But you know,
I just
we
wanted to
got
get on.
baseball. I know
It's been a
it's
while
fun.
for both of us, but
Yeah.
I see we've got another
Yeah. Yeah. Sponsor.
sponsor there.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
It is. They're one of the top non-alcoholic beers out there. So they're supposed to be sending us some product. So I'm excited.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, especially for a guy like myself. I don't drink at all,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
non-alcoholic
Same
beers
here.
it seems interesting. So, um, and for our viewers, I hope everybody has a great Easter weekend. Spend a lot of time with your family. And now that I'm a father, I can really
Yep.
say this a minute. Enjoy the time with your kids.
Yep. It's your first
Because
one.
that's right, and because just watching them grow already seems like we were just had them yesterday, but it's here we are now, almost 5 days later.
Yeah. Yep.
So
And
um,
also, I was going to send our thoughts and prayers out to Florida State University. What the
absolutely,
census
um,
act that happened today.
hoping and praying that those people who are in critical care are able to recover. Um, I think it was around 5 people. It's just terrible. And anytime something like that happens, it's a surreal moment for everybody. It's sobering, is what it is. So yeah, thoughts and prayers for them. And uh, Blake, is good to be on again with you.
Yep.
Anybody don't know it? Blake's Blake has been a heck of a friend, heck of a buddy of mine for years. So appreciate you, Blake.
Mm-hmm.
Do a great job when you run this. So thanks for having me help you
Yes,
out
sir.
these last few
Mm-hmm.
years.
No.
It's been a
Oh yeah,
blast.
it's been fun. It gets more fun during football season, but right now we're at the sports that we're actually good at. When it gets to football.
Yeah, when hockey gets here, unless Wayne
Yeah.
Gretzky's walking through the Razorback door, I don't know who the heck we're talking about.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll try to be on next week, and we'll be back.
All right, man. Good to see you. Appreciate
All
all
right.
of our viewers and supporters.